Same world, different rule. Yeah, yeah. From the sandbox, Tonka trucks in the dirt. Mama yelling from the porch, boy coming for it get dark. Knees scraped up, didn't know what it's worth. Didn't know that same yard turned cold in the heart. Pops gone early, left a hole in the frame. Mama working double shifts, couldn't shoulder the pain. Started hanging with the older lords, learning the game. They ain't teach me how to live, they just showed me the flame. First fight, first lick, first time feel power. First time see a man fall, froze for an hour. Then it turned to the norm, numb to the scene. Turn a boy to a man, way too quick, no in between. Hurt him in his heart, now he moving like hollow. My brother caught a body as a shorty full of sorrow. Damn near 30 in that box, no tomorrow. Concrete tears every night he had to swallow. From sandbox dreams to them cold cell blocks, where time don't move but the pain don't stop. We all start innocent and the world get real. Now it's bars on the soul trying to learn how to heal. From sandbox dreams to them cold cell blocks, lost too many names, seen too many shots. If they don't tell our story, then we tell it ourselves. From the streets to the system, from the sandbox to cells. Released from the belly of the beast, still breathing. Inner peace, wrestling the grief, still bleeding. Freedom feels strange when your soul still caged. Trying to turn the pain into wisdom on the page. Mama barely recognized a man he became. Same eyes, different fire, yeah, different kind of flame. Every scar got a story, every step got a way. He survived what was meant just to seal his fate. Now he walk with a purpose, but the ghost still talk. Every dark alley memory follow when he walk. Praying God hear him clearer than the judge ever did. Trying to teach the next youngin' don't repeat what he lived. Loved ones go missing, tears fall in silence. Some names get candles, others buried in violence. If she blind with blue eyes, it's a headline quick. If she brown from the hood, they don't mention that shit. Mothers on the news begging, yeah, please bring her home. Other mamas cry alone, no camera, no phone. Same pain, same loss, but the coverage unequal. One story go viral, the other stay secret. Posters on posts fade under the rain, while the system pick and choose who deserve the pain. Every hour that passes, a life on the line, but if it don't fit the narrative, they running out of time. We was kids in the dirt, now we names in the fire. Trying to smile through the pain, but it's been a while, yeah. Praying for redemption, somewhere down the road. Carrying all this weight, but we still don't fold. From sandbox dreams to them cold cell blocks, where time don't move, but the pain don't stop. We all start innocent and the world get real. Now it's bars on the soul trying to learn how to heal. From sandbox dreams to them cold cell blocks, lost too many names, seen too many shots. If they don't tell our story, then we tell it ourselves. From the streets to the system, from the sandbox to cells. Yeah. Yeah, started in the sandbox, ended in the cell blocks. Same world, different rule. Yeah, yeah. From the sandbox, Tonka trucks in the dirt. Mama yelling from the porch, boy coming for it get dark. Knees scraped up, didn't know what it's worth. Didn't know that same yard turned cold in the heart. Pops gone early, left a hole in the frame. Mama working double shifts, couldn't shoulder the pain. Started hanging with the older lords, learning the game. They ain't teach me how to live, they just showed me the flame. First fight, first lick, first time feel power. First time see a man fall, froze for an hour. Then it turned to the norm, numb to the scene. Turn a boy to a man, way too quick, no in between. Hurt him in his heart, now he moving like hollow. My brother caught a body as a shorty full of sorrow. Damn near 30 in that box, no tomorrow. Concrete tears every night he had to swallow. From sandbox dreams to them cold cell blocks, where time don't move but the pain don't stop. We all start innocent and the world get real. Now it's bars on the soul trying to learn how to heal. From sandbox dreams to them cold cell blocks, lost too many names, seen too many shots. If they don't tell our story, then we tell it ourselves. From the streets to the system, from the sandbox to cells. Released from the belly of the beast, still breathing. Inner peace, wrestling the grief, still bleeding. Freedom feels strange when your soul still caged. Trying to turn the pain into wisdom on the page. Mama barely recognized a man he became. Same eyes, different fire, yeah, different kind of flame. Every scar got a story, every step got weight. He survived what was meant just to seal his fate. Now he walk with a purpose, but the ghost still talk. Every dark alley memory follow when he walk. Praying God hear him clearer than the judge ever did. Trying to teach the next youngin' don't repeat what he lived. Loved ones go missing, tears fall in silence. Some names get candles, others buried in violence. If she blind with blue eyes, it's a headline quick. If she brown from the hood, they don't mention that shit. Mothers on the news begging, yeah, please bring her home. Other mamas cry alone, no camera, no phone. Same pain, same loss, but the coverage unequal. One the other stay secret. Posters on post fade under the rain.
Sorry.
Yeah, your big head ass.
I like that song. I'm sorry.
I like it too. It's appropriate.
Absolutely.
What's up, y'all? Back after a long ass hiatus. Had a lot going on, but we back. We try to be as consistent as we can. It's your boy Los.
And this is Katrina.
You know, another episode, Sandbox to Cell Blocks, Missing Persons to Street Truths. Before we start, man, you know, just want to say rest in peace to the brother Lil E. Passed away this past week. Other than that, though, we're gonna talk about Juneteenth, man. The misconception. You know, break it down.
Where's the disclaimer?
I ain't even got. I know.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go on. Then go on.
Yeah, golly. I'm just talking about what we talking about, man. We gonna talk about Juneteenth, the history. You know what I'm saying? The misconception and everything that goes with it. You know, I didn't really hear about Juneteenth till I got in prison, like understanding it. So, you know, they definitely didn't teach us it in school. So, and they didn't teach my mother's generation either. So, after I get through this disclaimer, which I'll just see, she just rudely interrupted me to make sure that I got it. Then we're gonna talk about this and everything that go with it. So, bear with me. This podcast is a platform for conversation, education, and community dialogue. Views expressed by hosts and guests are their own and do not represent any organization, group, or institution. We do not promote violence, illegal activity, or harm of any kind. Our discussions may include difficult or controversial topics, but our goal is understanding, accountability, and change. We ask our audience to engage respectfully. Allegations, accusations, or naming the suspects without verified information will not be allowed. This space exists to amplify voices, honor those impacted, and work toward unity and solutions in our communities. Please don't get to talking about names or suspects on here. But now that we got that out the way, you know, yeah, we in this thing, man. And I like the topic today, and I feel like it's gonna be an informative one. You know.
Sorry.
She thought the same. No, you know. No, don't hit me with the smile after you just did it with that face. So
my bad, man.
No, you good, man. So
she thinks she owned the place.
She do, shit. But
so,
yeah, so
I just want to like put my little input in, if that's okay with you, Lois. We was talking about this before we got on with everybody. I knew nothing about Juneteenth until I met Kwame. So that was 2020. And even in this short period of time where it was just me and him talking before we got on the show, he schooled me with a lot of stuff. And I appreciate that. Y'all don't understand. I don't like him, but I like him. And I appreciate everything he teaches me. Every day is something new that I'm learning from him. So
we kind of learn from each other.
I'm sorry.
So we kind of learning from each other. That's kind of how this gonna have to go.
Agreed.
Iron sharpen iron.
So for those that don't understand Juneteenth, can you break it down a little bit for us, Lowe's?
So it's like this. It's like every year, June 19th, we commemorate Juneteenth. It's the day that the enslaved people in Texas, in Galveston, Texas, learned they were free. Now, keep in mind, in 1963 is when Honest Abe set free the slaves in the rebellious states, right? The Confederate states. Those were considered the rebellious states, right? So Honest Abe declared in 1863, right, July 4th, that those, no, it wasn't July 4th, but that those states would be free states for the enslaved. It wasn't every state. It was just the rebellious states, right? But it took till June 19th, 1965, over 2 years later, before those in Galveston, Texas, received that news, right?
1865 or 1965?
1865. Keep in mind, the Civil War was from 61 to,
right.
You know what I'm saying, 60. So yeah, January 1st, 1863, Honest Abe declared that the slaves in the rebellion states were free. And actually, this was to basically turn the tide so that the Union could win the war. You know what I'm saying? He felt like if the slaves in the rebellious states were a problem for the Confederacy as well as the Union soldiers, no way that they could lose because they would be fighting a war on two fronts, right? So it was that day that we commemorate Juneteenth, June 19th, 1865. The news reached Galveston, Texas, right? A whole damn near 3 years later.
Yeah.
It's 2.5 years, basically. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's a long time to still be getting free labor from someone, right?
Right.
Still be getting whooped for doing shit you legally didn't have to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what Juneteenth is. So today we're looking at the full historical timeline from the Emancipation Proclamation to Juneteenth, and finally to December 6th, 1865, when slavery was abolished nationwide, constitutionally. Big difference, right? 13th Amendment is when slavery was abolished constitutionally, and even that comes with a caveat, right? Comes with a warning. Honest Abe declared people free only in the Confederate states, right? Those are the states that were in rebellion. People in like Delaware.
Who's Honest Abe?
Abraham
Because he wasn't honest.
We know that. That's why I say it. I keep saying
why
it.
You keep calling him that?
because that's what they label the man as. That's what he's known by. And he Honest Abe.
We gotta break that down though. He wasn't honest.
Because he was known for being honest. Again.
Lies that they are telling us in our history already.
I get it. He freed the slaves not because he cared about them. That was something that happened later down the line, according to reports that was in his journal and people he talked to that were close to him. All I know is what I read were his words, which were, if I could free some of the slaves and keep the Union together, I would. I'm paraphrasing, but these are his words. If I could free none of the slaves and keep the Union together, I would. Yeah. So those words right there indict him on his, you know what I'm saying? Right. Absolutely. You just did what you felt like you needed to do to preserve the Union. Absolutely. This is Honest Abe for you. Right. Now, whatever his reasons were, he set into motion a chain of events that led to the 13th Amendment. December 6th, the ratification of the 13th Amendment, which constitutionally freed the slaves. Yes. But yeah, if he could have kept everybody enslaved and kept the Union intact, trust me, we our grandparents would have still been around here teaching us how to pick them fields. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So but
I'm sorry, I ain't mean to get you off. I'm just you kept saying it. Like he was not honest.
He wasn't. But I got my notes right here,
But it's a lot of people that hear Honest Abe, but they really don't know he was very dishonest. Again, like I said, he was black himself.
He was not black.
He had some black in him.
That nigga didn't look black.
One drop of blood of black back in those days, he was black. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening to your teaching.
This ain't. I'm just saying. So, the states that weren't Confederacy states, like So look, it wasn't just Confederacy states. That's where I was going. It wasn't just Confederate states that had slavery, though, right? Keep in mind, you had Union states that legalized slavery. Delaware, Kentucky, right? What other? Maryland, Missouri. These were Union states that still had slavery, right? So it did not. The Emancipation Proclamation did not free the slaves in those states, just the rebellious states. See, it's a contradiction in the Emancipation Proclamation, right? And like you said, you didn't know about it. It's not just you. A lot of this wasn't taught to us in school the way that it should have been taught to us, because they would just glance over certain things, right? Oh yeah, the Emancipation Proclamation did this, right? Black and white. No, it's a lot of gray in there. It's a lot of reading between the lines in there. They didn't talk about the reasons for it, the who, why, when, and wheres of it. And you know what I'm saying? It was just getting through a lesson so you could say you were taught this so you can get through a class.
Yeah.
Well, now we are older. We middle-aged men and women now. And some of us still don't know about Juneteenth.
Oh, sorry.
I'm getting there. You know what I'm saying? But some of us still don't know about Juneteenth. So this is I felt like this would be a good topic for the week after Juneteenth type stuff, right? Just to talk about it in general, give a few historical contexts about the dates and the meanings behind these dates and some places. So now you could be like, damn, well, if you didn't know it, you don't have to be ashamed about it, because a lot of us don't know until we know, right? You don't know until you know. That goes. So if you've been around here wanting to ask questions but ashamed to because you didn't want to feel like, you was the stupid one or the slow one, shit, we all uninformed until we become informed. And if you don't ask questions, you'll never become informed, especially if you're not going to pick up a book, right? I would advise you to pick up a book, but some of those books ain't going to be accurate either. So you just do your due diligence. But yeah, freedom arrived when Union soldiers arrived to enforce it. Because in some of these places, they knew slavery was abolished. And yet, because they were in agreement with slavery, they weren't going to personally enforce the law. So if the soldiers didn't come to enforce the law, then slavery would have still been in play. So when the Union arrived, meaning the soldiers, so when the Union cavalry arrived, this is when they start enforcing the law in these places that should have been established, January 1st, 1863. It just that's the way it was. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking about why Juneteenth matters. And we're talking about when I think, what's the general name? I got it here. June 19th, Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, and issued General Order Number 3. It informed approximately 250,000 slaves.
Wow.
These 250,000 people were still enslaved in Texas. He informed them through General Order Number 3 that they were now free. But for the last 30 months, they have been free. They just have been given free labor. So this is 30 months that they could have been getting their lives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some type of traction, some type of foundation. 30 months later, 250,000, hey, y'all free. Now, I don't know. I can't even imagine how to take that news and what to do with that news if all you've known is slavery. That's some shit that is hard to contemplate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to sit there and say what you would have done. Oh, I would have missed me with that.
Yep.
Just like you hear people talking about, oh, I wouldn't have done this in slavery. You wouldn't have. That shit easy to say, man, when you ain't dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know until you have to endure it.
Absolutely.
But that 250,000 people, that's because Texas had become one of the last major strongholds for slavery. It has seen relatively little fighting. So the war hadn't really got that. Keep in mind, Texas is southwest.
Right.
The battlefields was mainly east and south. You know what I'm saying? So Texas was relatively unscathed from battle, from war. And the masters were enforcing the law, which was slavery. And the people that were fleeing these other Confederate or rebellion states were immigrating to Texas.
Yeah.
So that they could, because Texas was a stronghold, so that they could take their slaves with them, set up shop, and keep slavery in play. So Texas was a relative fortress for slavery.
Yeah.
And
So I just got a quick question, because everyone knows that Texas was also a place for Mexicans that came up from Mexico to stay there. But the question that I want to ask, and I've never asked anybody this, is why did Texas make Juneteenth? Why did not New York or Florida or Georgia, Louisiana? Like, why was it Texas to make?
Well, again, keep in mind that Texas is significant with the commemoration of Juneteenth because it was in Texas, June 19th, 1865, that those slaves in Galveston had found out that they were free. Right? It was in Texas. It wasn't New York. It wasn't DC. It was June 19th, 1865, when that General Granger hit Texas. He informed 250,000 slaves that you are now free. That's the significance of Texas.
So they didn't do that in other states? Other states had to know, okay, this is what came about and this is why you're
But it
free.
wasn't June 19th. It wasn't 2.5 years later.
I got you.
See,
okay.
January 1st, 1863, during the war, is when Abe Lincoln freed the slaves in rebellious states.
That makes sense.
Right. So the slaves got wind of that. And some of them were still enslaved, and others went to fight for the Union. Others fought for the Confederacy.
Man.
It's a complicated understanding, right?
Absolutely.
So some people fought for the very people who were enslaving them. Others fought against it. Others just ran away to escape. Like it's everything and anything you can think of were taking place. Yeah. So we're talking about a really complicated subject. And I'm just like trying to give a historical timeline as to how it all came about.
And Trina said it. Why did it take so long for Texas to find out? That's what I was thinking too.
I believe the people in Texas, this is me. I believe slave masters knew, because if they stay apprised of what's going on pertaining to their cash crop, slaves, right? You pay attention to the national politics pertaining to your cash crop. This is how you eat.
Right.
They felt like, my opinion, I don't need to tell them this because they won't know it any other way.
And I'm going to continue to make money while they don't know.
You are not allowed to read. Your ass can't leave the plantation, the estate, without permission, right? Peace and love, AR. You can't leave the estate without permission. My children, I probably haven't told them. And furthermore, they aren't allowed to tell you.
Right.
Thirdly, I'm going to make examples of anyone who tries to leave. Right? If you don't know, I'm going to put the fear of God in you, so that you're just going to accept this shit until a savior comes. Yeah. And that's kind of how it played out. I don't know that to be the case, but
that makes sense though.
Right? I'm deductively reasoning this shit, right? This is how I felt like it played out. So it took 2.5 years, a full 30 months, for the Union to make their way from fighting along the coast and through the southeastern states, as they made their way westward to solidify their territory. They eventually hit Texas and find out that there are still hundreds of thousands of enslaved people. So as the Union arrived, so does the news that, man, y'all are no longer enslaved. You know what I'm saying? Per the president.
Yeah.
And that's how that played out. So it took 2.5 years, June 19th, 1865. And yet and still, everybody in the United States of America were still not free from slavery. Right? You know what I'm saying? They still wasn't free from slavery. This is where you start talking about the ratification of the 13th Amendment, which was December 6th, 1965. Constitutionally, December 6th, 1965, with the ratification
1865 or 1965?
1865. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay.
1865, with the ratification of the 13th Amendment, this is when slavery was legally, constitutionally abolished. Even that came with a caveat. It came with conditions, right? Because it tells you neither slavery nor involuntary servitude shall exist in the United States except as punishment, right? Right? So this we can segue, we not though, but we can segue into the PIC, the prison industrial complex, right? Yeah. And how it's set up to be a cash cow.
Yeah. We need to though. Even though we're not gonna do it today, later, we need to get into that because a lot of people, again, that follow me or may follow you, they don't know about that. So I think that's important. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you good. You good because that's important because the PIC, I just did 29 years. I see how the prison industrial complex has, even in my little short time in there, because it's been going on since then, right?
Sure.
But I'm saying because it's been going on for so long, it's been evolving to just be more of a complex cash cow, right? It's just a legitimate way to ostracize and legally, you know what I'm saying, restrain a community, particularly those with the complexion problem, put this community or the oppressive problem. You can be a European, you could be of pale hue and still be a part of the PIC, right? The prison industrial complex, and still get benefited from by the upper class, that top tier class of millionaires and billionaires, from your labor, from your conviction, from the crimes that you've committed, whether you had a decision in making them or whether you were kind of forced into making some bad decisions, no matter how you slice it, right? There is a crime on the books for damn near everything. You can justify being found guilty for damn near anything now, all the way down to littering, jaywalking. It's all type of shit that you can be criminally fined or convicted and serving time and made to work, you know what I'm saying, for pennies. For pennies, right? While the people that you're working for makes bankroll. So all this shit is a part of that 13th Amendment, right? Slavery and involuntary servitude, right? Can't do that except where your ass been duly convicted of a crime, and they can find a way to convict you of any crime that they think is a crime or that they think they can justify getting something off your labor. They can do it. So the 13th Amendment has pros and cons, right? Legally, we free, right? Legally. But legally, they can still justify not freeing your ass. You know what I'm
saying? And when you say free, we're talking about slavery. I mean, if you're incarcerated, that's
relative freedom.
Yes, right? There you go.
Relative freedom. Because at the end of the day, there's conditions on everything. And I believe there needs to be conditions, right? Without some checks and balances, oftentimes you find chaos. So checks and balances are good, right? But the kind of checks and balances that's referred to when you start thinking about this, this ain't the shit I'm talking about. Right. That's not what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about justifiable hard labor or enslavement for certain classes and groups of people because that you feel it's necessary in order to continue benefiting from them. That's what the PIC, the prison industrial complex, is, right? This is a whole subculture of economics, right? Built off prison labor, off incarcerating people, off the programs that goes into incarceration. These programs are shit, by the way. the funding of the commissary, the food, the clothing, the hygiene, the construction, all this shit is big. This is macroeconomics. This is big business, right?
Absolutely.
All this is justified under the PIC. Under the 13th Amendment. Excuse me. Under the 13th Amendment. Then my water's up there. So this is why we talking about the 13th Amendment. Legally, it abolished slavery, but also legally, it justified slavery.
Right? Yeah,
it justified it.
Yeah.
Legally, you are all free of being slaves, except when you commit a crime and you've been duly convicted.
Yeah.
And who gets convicted the most for accusations?
Black and brown.
The oppressed people with the complexion problem.
Agreed.
Like I said, Europeans do too, but proportionally, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Like how black people make up approximately 13% of the U.S. population, and you represent about 38.5% to 39%, 3 times your population in prisons.
Yeah, and you got more than 50% that are missing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Of that population. So yeah, I absolutely agree with you 110%. There's so many places that we can like segue from this.
No, yeah, absolutely. You could look. The brother AR just sent. He says now being homeless may be a pipeline to slavery too.
Absolutely.
Keep in mind. So I don't want to deviate too far. But the black codes were created, right?
Yes.
The black codes were a bunch of laws and policies in pro-slavery states, right? That justified re-enslaving through incarceration former slaves.
Yeah.
So vagrancy, homelessness, all these were a part of the black codes. And if you got caught doing any of these, they could lock your ass up and put you in a chain gang where they could get that free labor out you again. And something such as homelessness, you know what I'm saying, being a vagrant, right? That would cost you 6 months to a year of your life just for being homeless. And it's a free 6 months to 1 year of labor. Black codes, right? Called such because it was for black people. You know what I'm saying, newly free slaves.
But even with that, who calls us the homelessness?
Again, when you give someone a 265, 275 year economic head start,
man,
you just think about that.
Yeah,
your family. I'm trying to make it so you can really visualize it. Your family has had people working. You have had a family with a corporation that has gotten 275 years of free labor, right? So your family has a 275 year head start. That means I'm buying all the land. That means the infrastructure. I've helped set the policies in play here. So systemically, I'm involved. Territorially, I'm involved. Structurally, right? We're talking about the structure, the superstructure. Like I'm involved in every facet of the makeup of this land, this country, right? So now we're talking about white people being their family. And then you start talking about taking their assets and now making them become, you have to pay for them. Now you got to pay to get the money that you have been getting for free. Unless you can do this and you can justify still getting some of it for free.
Yeah.
So black codes were the justification that they could still get free labor, free money, right? We could still lock their ass up if they violate these tenets right here. So if we don't give them housing, right? We don't let them live in our apartments or our property, then they are homeless, and we have a law that says homelessness is a violation.
Boom.
So we can lock them up and get free labor. Or if we don't hire them, because we just had them for free, if we don't hire them, right, then they are unemployed and they can't pay for shelter. See what I'm saying? So we're going to lock them up anyway. Or they'll have to come back to us as sharecroppers, right? and you can work our land for a place to live on the land, that would be your payment. It's just slavery.
Wow. That's,
You
you know what? I never thought about that. My daughter is over in Japan, and oh wow. That's wow.
So this is not to get off topic, but
No.
this is those 5 economic theories that we talk about when we start talking about material, historical materialism. I'm sorry, right? You start talking about communalism, communal living. You start talking surfism, right? Communal living is where everybody living in harmony, so to speak, right? Then you start talking about surfism, where you work in the land or whatever, right? The sharecropping shit, right? You start talking about capitalism. You start talking about socialism. You start talking about communism. These are 5 economic theories, right? Yeah, all this shit goes, it's layers. Remember that. We talk about layers. It all started with everybody being in harmony. And I don't want to get too far away from this because this is going to take us to a different chapter. We talking about the Emancipation Proclamation, but now we showing you how the economics goes into the 13th Amendment, right? But the 13th Amendment was just a way to free the slaves. Nationally. Yeah, firework just went off. I'm shell shocked, y'all. Sorry about that.
Why they got?
Y'all know.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm sorry, but yeah, so that's kind of how it ties into that, not to get too far away from Juneteenth. Juneteenth, honestly, it says if slavery ended nationwide December 6th with the abolishment and the 13th Amendment being ratified, why isn't that a holiday? That's a good question. But it's like Juneteenth represents something larger than the legal document, right? Because it reminds us that freedom was delayed, right? Freedom was delayed for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Right? In a country that's supposed to be on one accord. A country that's supposed to be on one accord. This is what makes you a country, right? The laws apply from border to border, east to west, north to south, right? So if a country has laws that are nationally accepted, why did it take 30 months? You know what I'm saying? For it to reach this group of people over here.
Absolutely.
Right. But I just explained to you my theory on that. I wonder if it was white people, right? Would have taken that long for freedom to reach them? It's just a thought. Something you'll never know. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a hypothetical you can't actualize. Right.
But that makes sense though.
It's just, yeah. So without enforcement, the law means nothing.
Yeah.
They go for street law. They go for national law, right? Without enforcement of it, the law means nothing. So you street organization members, y'all understand this to be true. You know a bunch of people that's bogus around you. You yourself might have been bogus at one point, if you're not bogus now. And because if there's no enforcement of the law, you get to do what you want. This is what was happening in Texas. Yeah, it's a law going on. But if you not gonna make me enforce this law, and I'm making, keep in mind, we're talking the 1800s. If I'm making X amount of thousands of dollars a month, which is a large sum, right? If I make $5,000 to $7,000 a month off my slaves, even though it's illegal, man, you come out, you have to let me know I'm bogus. Right? Ain't no different than those of us who out here doing illegal shit now, robbing, selling drugs, etc. Right? It's laws against these things. But until you catch me and enforce the law, yeah, I'm gonna do what I do. Right? That's the way it is. So they didn't release their slaves or inform them that they were free until that general hit the deck like, yo, this what's up. 2.5 years later. You know what I'm saying? 2.5 years later.
I love that.
It's not complete until it reaches the ordinary man. You know what I'm saying? It has to trickle down. So Juneteenth honors the lived experience of people who waited years for freedom, that already been declared free. That's why we celebrate Juneteenth.
Or there's like, let's
You know what I'm
see,
saying?
from sleeping there, it's just ridiculous. I'm sitting here listening, reading what Trina said. They do that here. She said it's crazy. They've even put in benches that have railings, or they're slightly slightly slanted to keep people from sleeping there. It's just ridiculous. They do that here in Indy.
Wow.
Yeah, just to make sure that they don't sleep on bus. That's crazy, man. I think you have said it best to me that you can still be enslaved, even though we're supposed to be free, just for some of the stuff that they're putting into place.
Man, listen. When you start talking about the implementation of racism. I ain't one of them dudes that be crying racism with every time you, right? So I told you what racism mean to me probably a couple months ago on one of these podcasts, right?
Yes.
It's prejudice with the power to enforce that prejudice. Absolutely. It's not just you running around here throwing out derogatory slurs towards an ethnic group. You could call somebody a nigger or a hunky or a spick or whatever. Those are just, hate words, right?
Right.
You can choose to let that affect you or not. But real racism is being in a position to enforce your prejudices. If you feel that a Latino or an Asian or a poor white or a black is less capable of doing something just because they are what I just said, a Latino, an Asian, a black, or a poor white. If you feel they're less capable of doing something just because of that, and you don't allow them the opportunity to show you that they are capable, right? Yes. And you are in a position to to hire them and let them show you, but you don't give them that opportunity because you've already predetermined that they are incapable of it. That is real racism.
Absolutely.
Right? That's systemic. So when you are an employer, right? When you are a legislator, right? And you are putting mechanisms in play that enforces these prejudices. That's racism.
Absolutely.
When you around here just calling somebody, oh, fuck you nigga, or fuck you hunky, or fuck you spick, right? Yeah, you just an ignorant ass motherfucker.
Say it.
Ain't nothing we can really do about that. Somebody gonna probably hit you in your mouth. We don't promote that, but that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get yourself in a situation.
Yes.
Right? Me, I'm just gonna look at you like you're crazy. Long as you don't touch me. You know what I'm saying? Long as you don't touch me. Right? I don't give a fuck what you say. But don't you put your hands on me. You're gonna have a real problem. Right?
Yeah, with all that lean muscle that you got, I ain't trying you, no day.
Yeah. That's not racism, though. You see what I'm saying? Racism is being able to enforce your prejudices, and that's what you get when you start talking about people being in play, right? And they have these ideas about groups of people just based off the ideas. Yeah. Oh, I ain't giving no woman no job. She can't do this.
Yes.
Right? That's sexist.
Yes.
That's sexist. That's sexism at its best. Woman ain't capable of doing this job. She could be a secretary. She ain't capable of doing this. And when she applies for the job, you don't give her the opportunity just because you believe she can't.
Exactly.
That's enforcing your prejudice. That's sexism. Well, racism is along the same way. You don't do this because you feel like the complexion of their skin automatically disqualifies them for being capable of doing a certain deed. Yeah. So when I apply for a job, you like, oh man, I'm sorry, man, that position's filled, right? You ain't gonna sit there and tell me that I don't think you're capable of doing it because you black and Puerto Rican. No, you gonna tell me that position filled. But as soon as someone else comes along with a different complexion, a lighter complexion,
right,
preferably a European, right? You, oh yeah, man. When can you start? Right?
So I have a question for you. And I've been thinking about this a long time, but it's some things that you say, like, what do you feel about a white ally?
Man, listen, I take all allies. It's not
How do you
the hue, it's not the ethnicity that I have a problem with. It's personal ideologies, right? If we have a conflicting ideology, then that's different. But I will talk with anyone. And if we on the same wavelength, I wouldn't give a damn where you from. We ain't even got to speak the same language. if you are against being oppressed, if you are for uplifting your people, my people, the people, right? If you for uplifting them, if you for looking out for your communities, your community, my community, his, you know what I'm saying? I'm with it. I don't give a damn how old you are, what your gender identification is. I don't care about none of that. We have more in common in that than we do the other shit that we don't.
Absolutely.
Right? So I'm working with whoever.
Absolutely. So I asked that because there's some people that, like, I went to school with that are Republicans that have like some political stances in Florida, but at the same time I'm feeling some type of way because, like, you can't understand me because you're not in that same place that I am. You can't give me a backing on what I'm trying to do for the missing because you don't have nobody missing. You're not of the same hue, even though I'm a little lighter than you, but it makes me feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to reach out to you. We need to connect because I know what you stand on, but at the same time, can you really feel what I'm feeling? Can we really work together? Can we, you know what I mean?
It gotta be genuine, sis. Like, it's like this. They might can't feel what you feeling now because you, like, they haven't gone through what you going through, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and say, because I can't feel what you feel. I don't have multiple people in my family missing, right?
Right.
But I can definitely empathize, and I can look at it from a different context to have an understanding. I got people in them prisons. They are missing to me.
Yes.
You know, so they are not physically present in my life out here. I can't see them when I want to. I can't call them when I want to. You see what I'm saying? So it's not on the same wavelength, but I got a bunch of brothers that are still in them tombs, man, that I love dearly. And I miss them because I'm out here and they not. So when you start talking about from an empathy standpoint, I can empathize. I'm sorry, I can empathize with you. And I can get on the same wavelength on whatever you want to do because my empathy from that standpoint, it helps me kind of understand what you're going through. Not completely, because I'm not like, I don't have skin in the game you do, so to speak, right? But yeah, I absolutely can. So I can't tell you how the next man should interpret this if they don't have people missing in their, you know what I'm saying, their families. If they don't know people that are missing, because I really don't know people that I know you now. And because I personally talked to you off camera and we've talked about these things, I have a different respect for the missing person, for the advocacy that goes into missing people, right? And I applied that understanding to my guys being in the joint, the APs, the Walees, the Monies, the ARs, the Papalanis, the Chimps. These my guys.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? These they still stuck, but these my people.
Absolutely.
The difference is I know where they are. I just can't get them. You don't know where your people are.
Right. But at the same time, you know, we can still come together. And I know everybody out there knows that. I know you know that. We're coming together just even to make this podcast for both of us. That's why it's called Missing Persons and Street Truths, because we can always come together on that. And again, I don't like you, but I love you as my brother, and we can always come together and understand and agree, disagree, or whatever, but we're still going to come together and make this actually work. So if any of you guys that are listening or watching that would like to reach out to us and to have your person or your situation out here on our podcast, please reach out to us. That's what we want to do. We want to help everybody, even though we may not be able to help everybody, but we're going to do the best that we can. So reach out to us, talk to us, and let's make it work. What are you doing, Los? This is not a workout session.
I'm not, man. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to head out, but I'm just trying to make sure I pay attention to everything you're saying.
You look good. You look good. High five, brother. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you next week.
Out of here, let me say this before we get out of here.
Okay.
Right? We gonna end this in a couple minutes. If they say in closing, what should we remember, right? From this section, I just want you to remember that January 1st, 1863, freedom was declared by Abe Lincoln in the rebellion Confederate States through the Emancipation Proclamation. I got my notes right here. That's why I'm looking over.
I love it.
June 19th, 1865, 2.5 years later, freedom arrived. Freedom was announced in Texas by the Union Army and their General Granger, right? In Galveston, Texas. And that's what we celebrate as Juneteenth. The arrival of the announcement of freedom in Galveston, Texas, June 19th, 1865. December 6th, I mention these dates because these are the three most important dates in the abolishment of slavery. December 6, 1865, the 13th Amendment was ratified and became constitutionally the law for the abolishment of slavery. But keep in mind, there's a caveat in there where it says, except where basically you've been duly convicted of a crime. And that's going to lead to us talking about something maybe the next couple of weeks about the prison industrial complex, right? How slavery was abolished, yet it wasn't. It was enforced at the same time. Yes. The conflict in the law. So we'll talk about that. And before we go, history is strongest when we understand a full timeline, not just a single date. This is what we were trying to do today. Give you some context behind dates with historical reference, right? Juneteenth celebrates the arrival of freedom to many who have been left waiting. December 6th marks the constitutional end of slavery across the U.S. Together, they tell a fuller story of this country's long journey toward freedom. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, y'all, peace and love. I appreciate y'all paying attention to us and giving us y'all time and attention. Comments, please send them. Questions, whatever. Criticism, feedback, whatever you got, give it to us, man. And we're going to try to respond to as much of it as we can. Peace and love.
Thank you, loves. Peace and love. And I'll see you guys later. Love.